"The humans are here," we said, laughing behind our cued hands out of pity and secondhand embarrassment. The humans had literally stumbled onto the galactic scene. They were a simple species with only one planet and were barely civilized. Their lifespans were little longer than those of their ancestor apes, and outside the backwater planet, which they insisted on calling Earth even though most of its surface area was covered in water, they had only the tiniest of settlements. The Galactic Council was based on contracts between the many species in the Citadel, space contracts that were debated and evaluated. When they had made their first contact, they actually had to send a ship back to inform their people because they didn't have any way of instantly communicating over even small distances in space. Although our vote was not in their favor, it only made them the most annoying peddlers of the galaxy. Negotiated, rewritten, and refined, typically over 100 cycles before there was any hope of approval from both sides. How could these simple beings with a lifespan of not even half that understand these proceedings? They didn't. The humans rudely ignored all that and just sent envoys out to offer pacts and agreements no one cared about. "The are here," we said with annoyance, tired of their many times they stood on our doorstep to attempt feeble diplomatic discourse, more out of pity than anything. Technology in the hopes that they would at least stop hunting in person and sign off on their worthless offerings. One thing that stood out about them was their toughness. Coming from a world with a wide range of climates, they were able to adapt to almost any living situation on other Citadel species worlds. For some reason, they enjoyed moving across half of the galaxy to live in a culture that was very different from their own, happily adopting whatever bizarre social rules they had in no time. Living on the many thousands of planets of whatever species foolishly allowed them to come, we observed these places marred by the presence of these overly enthusiastic apes. Whenever one of our people's most popular destinations was overrun with them, we turned away in disgust and said, "The humans are here." Our own planets were kept clean of them, and we did not allow them to settle anywhere in our space. More cycles passed, and we noticed a new trend. The younger members of our people began seeking the fortune in the stability and safety of our civilized systems. We discovered that the humans were to blame. They foolishly colonized barely habitable planets, surviving only because of their toughness. Surprisingly, they then laid the groundwork to terraform these planets, working to create conditions in which other council species could also survive. These colonies attracted a lot of people, promising a decent life for hard work and cheap living space, even for the biggest families. The humans' presence here became a call for Minotaur. They brought back a wealth of resources, bypassing the Galactic Council once more, and began trading with anyone willing within another one of their short lives. They had built a network of exchange that rivaled the official Citadel platforms, and they offered the most coveted of wares from many different cultures. As the humans went out to tame the most dangerous regions of the galaxy, they assured every being of a safe haven that could be shared by all. Previously been hidden behind unfinished agreements, some for thousands of cycles, as one of our planets after the other established trade routes with the humans. With hidden joy, we said, "The humans are here." When their ships turned up on our ports, promising a new influx of goods and wealth and leading to new prosperity for all our people. That upswing ended abruptly when, in a political move that had not thought to even be possible, we were exiled from the Galactic Council. An opponent pushed us into disgrace in front of all the Citadel species, instantly severing the many millennia-old pacts and cutting our access to the FTL travel network. In less than a cycle, our civilization was practically shattered to pieces, each planet on its own and powerless to defend itself against the planned invasion from our opponent. With travel blockages set up in all our systems, it was clear that utter annihilation was their set goal. As we stood before our ruin, A representative of the humans contacted us to offer their aid and protection, pointing at the Trimmel. Edie's we had long since forgotten. We thanked them for their honor, but they refused because we were facing death, and it was pointless for them to die with us. Instead, they sent their iron battleships, which circumvented the blockages through their brute force FTL travel method. Their considerable military might was previously unknown, and as they jumped in by the 10,000s in all our inhabited systems, we wept and rekindled hope. They stood with us, enduring numerous strikes, and we thanked them for their honor. We pinned the blame on our opponent, which gave us leverage that we immediately used to incite the greatest assembly of political leaders in the history of the Galactic Council. Now we stand before all of them to invite the humans into the galactic community. Opponent gave up the direct approach and was frustrated. It took many cycles before we were able to re-establish formal communication with the Galactic Council, and many more cycles to clear our species from the false allegations. Citadel, on to the podium with our business partners, allies, and friends, and with rising cheers of pride, conviction, and admiration, we declare that humans are present.